Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating text that's going to challenge you to look at life, consciousness, and your place in the cosmos in a totally different way. And believe it or not, it all starts with chickens. Okay, so it all kicks off with this simple but kind of startling experiment. It involves two groups of chickens, and the goal was to figure out what really makes a group successful. And let me tell you, the answer is probably not what you're thinking. So the setup here is pretty simple, right? A group of scientists decides, hey, let's study some chickens. They watch them for 3 years, and they split them into two very different groups, just to see which one would end up being more productive, more successful. And wow, the results, they were just staggering. The group of so-called brightest chickens, the superachievers, they ended up in this constant state of war. They literally fought and killed one another until only 3 out of 30 were even left standing. Meanwhile, the group of normal chickens, well, they just lived happily, laid their eggs, and totally thrived. The difference couldn't be more clear. Brutal competition versus peaceful cooperation. Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about chickens. The text argues this is a powerful metaphor for our own world. Think about it. The intense dog-eat-dog pressure in top schools, in big corporations where everyone's fighting to get to the top, even in politics. It's just like those brightest chickens. It can lead to all this conflict and burnout. And this all points to, a huge misunderstanding of what evolution is really about. The text reminds us that for Darwin, the ultimate key wasn't just survival of the fittest. No, it was cooperation. Nature, at its very core, cooperates. So that raises a big question. If our hyper-competitive model is so flawed, what's the alternative? So, okay, if this whole hyper-competitive thing is broken, then what's the answer? Where do we even start looking? Well, the text argues we have to turn away from the outside world and look inward by completely rethinking what consciousness even is. This is where we get introduced to a pretty wild idea called panpsychism. It's a theory that's been around since the 1920s. And the idea is, well, it's out there. What if consciousness isn't something that just our brains cook up? What if it's a fundamental property of the universe itself, present in, well, everything? And once you open that door, man, the questions just come flooding in. We're asked to seriously consider, is the entire universe aware? And if it is, what does that mean for everything around us? Does a rock or a flower have some kind of awareness? And the questions just get bigger and bigger, really pushing the limits of what we think is possible. I mean, is even dark matter, that mysterious stuff making up most of the universe, also aware? To help us wrap our heads around this, the text gives us this incredible metaphor. A cosmic quantum soup of consciousness. Just picture it. In this soup, everything is just blended together. You can't pull one ingredient out from another. We and everything else are just part of this one big interconnected awareness. And this brings us to a really cool comparison. You've got the scientists in an outer lab, maybe somewhere like CERN, smashing particles together trying to understand the universe. And then you have the mystic in their inner lab, their own body, trying to experience the universe. They're two totally different paths, one looking out and one looking in. But maybe, just maybe, they're both leading to the exact same truth. All right, so if your body is this inner laboratory, how do you, start the experiment? This is where we pivot from all these huge philosophical ideas to something incredibly practical that every single one of us can do. We're talking about your breath. There's this great little story in the text from a Buddhist book called Crystal Clear, and it kind of perfectly sets the stage. The idea is that the techniques for this inner journey are so simple. You'll probably think, no way, it can't be that easy. So what do you actually do? It is, and I mean this, shockingly simple. Step 1, are you breathing? Yes? Great. Step 2, just focus on that feeling, the in and out of your breath. Now, step 3 is the most important part. When your mind wanders, and trust me, it will, you don't fight it. You don't get frustrated. You just gently guide your attention back to the breath. And step 4? Well, that's it. That's the whole game. You just do that for the rest of your life. It's not a race, it's just the practice of coming back again and again. And this is the key, right? This is how it all connects back to the big picture. This simple act of focusing on your breath, it's not just some relaxation trick. According to this text, it's the doorway. It's the key to tapping into that cosmic soup of consciousness we were just talking about. You know, a lot of people hear this stuff and they think, oh, great, I have to give up my car, my money, all the fun stuff. But the text is super clear about this. You don't have to give up any of that. The things you need to let go of are all internal. It's about letting go of your anger, your intolerance, your impatience, all that negative emotional junk that weighs you down. Okay, this brings us to the grand finale. This is where everything, the chickens, the cosmos, your breath, it all comes together in one powerful, kind of mind-blowing conclusion. So to help us get there, the text offers this amazing metaphor. The mind is a mirror. What does that mean? It means that all those little things that drive you crazy about other people, well, they're probably just reflections of something inside you that you haven't looked at yet. If you want to change the world, you've got to clean your own mirror first. The second metaphor is just as powerful. You are a genie. Seriously. Your thoughts have creative power. Whatever you consistently think, that's what you become. If you're always thinking angry thoughts, you become an angry person. But the amazing news is, you're in charge of the genie. You have the power to direct your own mind and your own actions. And when you start to get these ideas, really get them, you begin to understand this timeless phrase, discovering your true nature, understanding how all this stuff works on the inside. That is what sets you free. And here it is. This is the ultimate truth, the final payoff at the heart of this entire text. You are not some small separate person living in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. You're a piece of that cosmic soup that has the whole recipe inside of it. You've just forgotten. And so, we end right where the real journey has to start. We've laid out the map, but the source leaves us with the most fundamental question of all, a question that only you can ever answer for yourself. Who am I?